Hello. I'm just outside of Bullfrog Marina on Lake Powell in southern Utah. For the next couple of days, I'll be hiking in Capitol Reef National Park, but my final destination is the Kiva Coffee House just outside of a town called Escalante. Over my shoulder, that's about 45 miles away as the crow flies. But walking in a straight line in southern Utah is impossible, so I'm going to have to hike about 85 miles to get there. While I walk, I'll tell you a little bit more about Capitol Reef, the Water Pocket Fold, which is my first stop, and what it's going to take to get there. Capitol Reef National Park is one of the most beautiful but least visited parks in the country. It's not well known because it's so remote. It's 4 hours from any major airport, and from the visitor center, the nearest traffic light is 78 miles away. The area just north of Lake Powell is the extreme southern edge of the park. So the area I'll be hiking is about as remote as you can get. The unifying feature of Capitol Reef is the Water Pocket Fold, a crease in the Earth's surface that runs north-south for more than 100 miles. Geologists call it a monocline, a structure in which all layers are inclined in the same direction. I got a little off route. I was coming south of the route that I wanted to be on. I wasn't checking my GPS, wasn't really checking my maps. I thought I had this, and if you can look in front of you, I need to be on the other side of that gully. And there's just no go here. I've tried, and I'm panning back to the right. I gotta walk all the way back that way, get on top of that, and then walk the top of this ridge this way. That's the right route. That didn't take long. Here I go. So it is night one at camp, and the good news is it was a beautiful day, and I saw some really great things and great scenery. The bad news is the day certainly could have gone better. We got off to a late start. I did some very bad route finding, underestimated the terrain, specifically where I'm hiking today anyway. And I really didn't make it very far. I didn't make it nearly as far as I thought I was going to. But worse still is that I seem to have lost the charging cable for the GPS, and there's no way those batteries last a week. I've got one extra backup, but they're rechargeable batteries, so I didn't really think I'd need a lot of backup batteries. I don't know what that means for the trip. We'll have to see. But anyway, like I said, I'm trying to keep a positive attitude. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I'll be I should be in the Water Pocket Fold tomorrow, and that should be a lot easier hiking. It should be very straightforward, and hopefully I can make up quite a bit of time. We'll see. Getting to the fold is easy enough, and once inside, the hiking is pretty straightforward. The problem is getting down into it. If you consult the guidebooks from Capitol Reef or search the internet, you'll find two access points from the east, both too far north for my purposes. But some hikers I found online who know the area well assure me there's a secret way in. They've dubbed it the lizard route. I scoured the internet for some reference to it and found nothing at all. When I entered the coordinates that they gave me into Google Earth, this is what I saw. Does anyone see anything here? Could this possibly be it? This is the Water Pocket Fold. Finally made it. For the next day and a half, I'm going to be hiking right up that valley. Beautiful. Okay, you can see a path in front of you. You're doing better than I am. This is the lizard route. Okay, I've got to make my way along there. It looks a little steep over there, but certainly doable. And then if you kind of keep going, it really falls off, and then boom, you're down onto the next ledge. And that's what I'm going to take back this way. At least I hope I am. That's the lizard route from below. I'm in Halls Creek, looking back up at it. And see that big boulder on the top there? And to the left, there's a little notch, little depressed area. That's the beginning of the route. And yes, I came down that. This is my first real out in the field water filtering experience. I've been rationing water for, well, I guess about 14 hours now. Not really sure when the next chance would be. I've truly been on just the last drops for, I would say, the last hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And it got pretty hot out here today, so I cannot wait until this water gets filtered. I'm going to drink every ounce out of that green Naegeli bottle and then start refilling everything else. I was warned about quicksand when I came out here, but how seriously do you take a warning about quicksand? Well, I just went in. I don't know if you can see that little puddle right there. It wasn't there a minute ago. I went in about up to my knees and fell and had to literally get on my hands and knees to get out of it. I don't think I could have spotted it even if I were paying attention, but I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at this as I was walking. So they call that walking and gawking. You can see all the mud all the way up to my pants. It's a mess, and my trekking poles literally went all the way in. What a mess. Stopping in the shade for a snack. This is what constitutes a snack around here. Don't know how that's showing up. And it tastes about what it looks like. But they pack 350 calories in there. And there I am continuing up the fold. I'll be walking along here all day today and probably most of tomorrow as well. Okay, how about this? I don't know what kind of tarantula that is. I've heard it's a myth that they're poisonous. Hate to keep throwing things at it to get it to move, but it was crawling all around pretty quickly. So I'm about halfway between the Halls Creek Narrows and the fountain tanks. And as you can see, Halls Creek is bone dry. So the fountain tanks will be my next stop. Fill up there, rest, have lunch, that sort of thing, and then keep going. So I've made it to the fountain tanks. I don't know if you can see, oops, you can see all that water there, and there's more back that way. These are the Muley tanks. As you can see, you got these pockets of water in the rock. Nice little waterfall there. There's another pocket up there. I think there still might be one further up, I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to go check it out. But I think I am going to go head over to this other feature called Hamburger Rocks.
Getting out of the Water Pocket Fold to the west is a lot easier than it is getting into it from the east. I'll be going through Muley's Twist, a climb for sure, but relatively easy walking. In fact, it was used as a wagon route in the 1800s by Mormon pioneers. The canyon was said to be so narrow it could twist a mule, hence the name.
So I just hiked up there. This is the climb that I've been fearing. This is the thing that I always thought would be the toughest thing to do. I've climbed to here, and then I still have to climb this. And that's really, quite frankly, just the beginning. Then I have to go up to the left, about 1,200 feet. The good news is it's kind of a ridge line, so I don't think it'll be too bad. I could be wrong about that. And then we come back down to here, and we see liquid gold. So I'm going to scoop some of that up, filter it, get my fill of water, because I'm in a really dry stretch. I want to make sure I leave here with quite a bit of water. Okay, Jamal, this is for you. There's Mr. Shadow. Still climbing. That's what I just came up. There's the train going forward. I'm about, I guess, 2/3 of the way up the climb. Toughest workout of my life, and what a place to do it, huh? Not half bad. So this is where I walked up. Those cuts in the cliffs you see, that's where I came through. Those are the circle cliffs, by the way. And that's down and there's the is Muley Twist. And way back there in the distance are the Henry Mountains. One of those two peaks is Mount Ellen, but I forget which one. I think it's the one to the left, but I could be wrong. Mount Ellen's the tallest peak in the Henry Mountains. Beautiful.
Not long after leaving the fold, you leave Capitol Reef National Park behind and enter the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument, a protected area roughly the size of Delaware, or about 1.9 million acres. It's really three distinct geological areas: the Grand Staircase to the west, a central region called the Kuiperowitz Plateau, and the Escalante Canyons to the east.
So the climb is finally finished. Really finished this time. And I'm walking through this little juniper forest, which is really cool. I had gotten myself, I don't want to say lost, but sometimes you can know where you are with no idea of how to get where you're going, and that's pretty much where I was. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm not out of the woods yet, but I believe that big feature you see in front of you is Deer Point. That's a good thing, because that is at least reasonably close to where I need to get to. And my GPS is just completely acting schizoid. It's giving me all kinds of bad info. So that's not good. But hopefully I can get to this next destination, which might even have some water. That would be great. So that juniper forest I was walking through was beautiful and cool. A bonsai artist's dream come true, but it was obscuring my line of sight. And that's what I was really going for here, was line of sight navigation. So finally it cleared up a lot. There's a lot of ridges and gullies, as you can see, and getting the right one's important. So I think I've got it, and the good news is if you look in the distance there, you can see a little mesa. It's got a little top ridge to it there, and that's where I need to be tomorrow, because just on the other side of that I get picked up. And I have to say, it's that sounds pretty good right now. So today was without question one of the most exhausting days of my life. I did that big climb. You may have seen an earlier video saying it wasn't so bad. Ignore that. That was a false plateau. There was a lot more to go still. It damn near killed me. So what I didn't tell you about the climb is that I was really worried that tonight would be a dry camp. So I left camp this morning with pretty much maxed out on my carrying capacity. I was carrying about 1.5 gallons or maybe 1.25 gallons of water. That is a lot of water to carry. So that's what I was carrying up that big climb. So I'm hiking, the sun's getting ready to go down, and I like to get everything set up well before the sun goes down. So I'm going to get started on that, but I had pretty much already concluded that it was in fact going to be a dry camp. I've been conserving water for quite a while. And then, I love you, Jamal, I finally found this little pothole. Not sure you guys can see it. I finally found this little pothole of water, and actually that's plenty. And a very nice man named Luke, one of the very few people I've seen, gave me his water pump because he said he didn't need it anymore. So I have his water pump, and obviously a pool that small, you'd rather pump water out than scoop it out. So I did that, I carried a washcloth with me and wrapped it around the filter so it didn't get too muddy, and it worked out great. I surprised myself. I let out a huge yahoo when I saw this, and I really kind of shocked myself. I didn't expect that. So here's a good example. I'm walking down a wash, I don't even know if it has a name, toward Colt Mesa. Colt Mesa is my next stopping point. There should be some good water there. It's also where I'm going to be picked up. So I'm walking down this wash, and I need to get into it, and I have no idea what the best way is. So I'll have to figure that out, but this is a pretty good example of what I've been dealing with. No paths, no trails. That's pretty much been the story this whole walk. It's looked just like this most of the time. These are the Colt Mesa tanks. They get their name from this back here. This is Colt Mesa. And these tanks are actually fed by springs around here that the ranchers use. So I believe you can just drink right out of those, but I'm going to filter anyway. I'm going to camp not too far from here, so that this is always available to me, and then I get picked up in the morning, hopefully. So this is my last night in camp, just sitting down. You can see actually some real deal road signs over there, right? Or trail signs. I haven't seen those in a long time. I've actually set up camp at the spot I'm going to get picked up in the morning. Making dinner, and I am making pad thai. It's in there, heating up. That makes me think of my wife. It's one of her favorite meals, although I'm sure it's a lot better than what I'm about to have And boy, oh boy, I can't wait to see her again when I get back. I really, really miss her. So here is my gold at the end of the rainbow. I'll be staying here tonight. Not only is this place incredibly cool, it's a little bed and breakfast, and the food here is tremendous. So here's my front window. And there, I don't know if it's too dark, but there is the shower that I will be in for the first time in a week. I cannot wait.